Hi there, I'm here today with Alana Lowe, who is an expert in anything contact centre, and obviously we supply to a lot of contact centres in our industry. So we've asked Alana to come here today to talk about a few different things that would be of interest. What does it take to be a good leader in the contact centre industry today as we're seeing a sort of COVID time?
I think it's important to recognise that good leadership is good leadership anywhere, and definitely in a contact centre space, particularly where you are leading a big team. You've got a lot of people looking up to you for support. So at the moment, the way I see it, we've been in crisis mode, which means, making lots of decisions on the fly. We're implementing solutions really quickly, and we're going to start to see people transitioning into a time where we're in a rebuild mode. And how do we help our frontline leaders start to transition the way that they lead their people? Because there's been a lot of pressure on our frontline leadership team to provide support to big teams of people. And we need to also be there with them with a bit of a roadmap on where are we heading, how do we help guide them, their people and our customers through these changing times.
Yeah, and I think a lot of team leaders have had to set their staff up from home. That's been challenging, and it's evolving day by day. Depending.
Absolutely. I mean, there are contact centres that have set up hundreds of people from home with technology that they would maybe never have had the opportunity to fully test out like that before. That's right. Like the risk side of things, people on their own computers at home, having the right kind of Wi-Fi and internet connection, that sort of thing.
Headsets.
And that's right. And now we've got a workforce that might be primarily working from home. Leading a team that works remotely is quite different to leading a team that are there with you in person. And you have to change your leadership style, the way that you communicate, the way that we bring people together, create a culture is very different to when they're there in person in an office. So, I think I reflect fondly back on those interactions from, when you're in that team environment and you've got all those people around you. How do you establish those relationships effectively with your colleagues, workmates? Like you overhear the banter, those types of things that create a culture if you're working from home.
That's it.
And whilst there are probably loads of positive things that come with that in terms of, once you're finished for the day, knock off time, you get to move straight on to the things in your own life. But at the same time, what are we losing with that too? So I think there's pros and cons, and it's about finding what works for your people, what works for your customer, and what works for the business.
That's it. Yeah. Another question I've got for you is, how important is voice telephony as part of the overall communication in a contact centre industry?
I think we've all experienced situations where we've called a contact centre that hasn't had great IVR systems in place and good messaging, and the frustration that comes with that. So the last thing that you want is for someone to be pushing buttons all over the place, and by the time they get through to your consultant, they're already upset, angry, annoyed, frustrated. So having that clear telephony system set up, good IVR messaging, letting people know where to go. If they can get the option to get a call back and hold their place in the queue, those types of things are so important. You want someone to be able to get through someone quickly, obviously, but in times like at the moment where people do have really high wait times, giving people alternative options is super important. So businesses really need people like you guys to be able to quickly change their messages while they're waiting on hold. What are the alternative options? Can they find the info elsewhere? And I think the other option as well is some contact centres like to give people an idea of how long their wait time is in the queue.
That's important.
That is important. I mean, a lot of people now are transitioning to more of the digital approach, so telling people that they can just do live chat, which is another great option too.
Thanks very much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
You can find out more on our link below, and also if you'd like to connect with Alana on LinkedIn, you can. Alana Lowe. Alana's doing some coaching and mentoring, leadership coaching, which you might be interested in. So connect with her and she'll be happy to help. Thanks.
Thank you.